How's it going? It's Charles Botenston. It is Columbus Day, 2014. We are here. No one else is, obviously, because they have off. I have no idea holidays anymore because I haven't been in a 9-to-5 job for 6 years at least. So today we're going to be talking about something that is on everyone's mind. And there's two conversations that I want to bring up. One of them, we're going to be talking about essentially the type of person you need to be consistently learning, consistently thriving, someone that can pick up, all these books that I have right here. I just ordered 3 new ones. We have Entree Leadership by Dave Ramsey, Power of Habit, Dare to Win by Mark Victor Hansen, Jack Canfield, Power of Habit. This was a massively successful book and New York Times bestseller. They were also New York Times bestsellers, but for Chicken Soup for the Soul, Dare to Win. The Magic of Thinking Big, this is also a New York Times bestseller, and this is Against Overwhelming Odds. And it's an inspirational story of 9-year-old John O'Leary's miraculous and triumphant fight for survival from burns on 98% of his body. So if that doesn't pump you up, I don't know what will. That's just one pile. I have another pile right here, another pile right there. Why am I telling you this? I'm reading another book over there called Working by Referrals. And essentially, by the way, upgraded to the iPad. So the iPad has me live, and you can see it's moving, which is fantastic. So I'm probably going to have something that just sits right here. I could see what I look like, make sure that I'm zoomed in and everything else, or maybe have it right next to the camera. I don't know. Anyway, shut up, Charles, and get on with the video. All right, Mr. Viewer or Mrs. Viewer. So what type of person does it take to read these books, to go to seminars? I've been to a seminar, a week-long seminar, watching Grant Cardone in Riviera Maya. I went to Arizona, Scottsdale, Arizona, to this year. This is all this year, to see Jack Canfield. I went to see Brian Buffini at the Javits Center. I'm going to Toronto to see Brian Buffini talk again. I saw Gary Vaynerchuk, Seth Godin, and Dave Ramsey in one unreal day. That was at Why am I bringing this up? Because it takes a special person to actually go to these events. You can't actually go to these events. I just want to make sure the audio is on. All right, good. One time I filmed 3 videos and the audio was not on. So I'm going to bring it down to 2 conversations. One which I had yesterday, which influenced this video. And my mom was talking about, she's like, next time you go to one of these seminars, and I've gotten this a lot because I posted on social media, I say, I took a selfie with Brian Buffini. I took a picture with Jack Canfield right here. This is Jack Canfield. I don't know if it's too blurry. So yeah, that was out in Scottsdale. But essentially, come back to me, camera. There we go. Essentially, it takes a certain person. So since posting this to social media, and I've taken it to a new level this year, 2014, I should say, has been a banner year of watching, listening, seeing, going to these events. And I have never been so inundated by people that say, next time you go to an event, invite me. It doesn't really work that way. It doesn't. I have been to events that I don't like because I've said the same thing. And you have to be into self-improvement. You have to be into the topic they're discussing. Self-improvement is Jack Canfield, Brian Tracy, Tony Robbins. Your business, self-improvement in your business is Dave Ramsey, Seth Godin, Gary Vaynerchuk. These are guys that, obviously all the other books that I have over there, the guy that wrote Big Something I have it around here somewhere. It's, I don't know, maybe I brought it home. Why Businesses Are Big or something by Jim Collins. Is it Jim Collins? Or is that the singer? I forgot. Anyway, but why do people say that? First of all, they want to go because they see that I'm happy. They know that they should be doing this. That's the biggest thing, is that they know they should be going to these seminars. They know they should be reading these books. But what's everyone's excuse? I don't have the time. I don't know what to read. You know, a lot of people say, hey, I'm ready to read. And I read a lot of military books, a lot of SEAL team books, a lot of heroic books by people like Unbroken, Fearless, Lone Survivor. Obviously, The Only Easy Day Was Yesterday. I think that's, or I know that's the motto of the SEAL teams, in other words, the military. So people are like, oh, what military book should I read? I'm like, well, you know, I can give you examples, but that also means that you want to do it, that you go out and you buy the book. And here's the biggest thing. You have to read it. You have to read the book. It's not easy just reading a book. It's really not. Listen, I was discussing with my mom yesterday. I literally through high school probably read from front to back. Not even through high school. I would say, because I went to a really good high school, I was not good at it. I made the top 90% possible, but it was a very competitive high school. These people, everyone's come out and done very well. I was saying how many books I read up until 18. Crap you not, I don't want to curse. I probably read 4 books from the beginning to the end, and I read the whole thing. 4 books, up until about 18. And then maybe through college, I read another 4. I'm serious. And then I come out of college and I read a book. I probably average 1 book every week and a half, maybe 2 weeks, depending on the length of the book and how into it I am. If I'm really into it, I slow down, I take every word, I take notes, I highlight and things like that, and then I write it up afterwards. It's not easy. It's really not. That means that the person has to accept what I say. They do research on Amazon probably and say, okay, this is a book I want to read. Then they purchase it. Then it arrives. Then the momentum's already gone. So they have to ensure that they are really into it and they really want to read it. And then they go out and they still have to read it and they still have to finish it. That's the thing, is starting, you're like, oh, okay, cool. Then you get to page 20 and you're like, oh my God, I still have 300 pages left or 200 pages left, which is another reason when I write books, do not write books that are more than 200 pages. Just get to the point, write only the meat. You know, once you hit 200 pages, you start losing people. You know, if you hit 300 pages, it better be about a history. It should be a history book. You know, there's a lot of books. I forgot his name, but he wrote 1776. I think he wrote something about George Washington. His books are all 600 pages. You know, it's hard to get through those, even though I haven't even tried. So my mom yesterday said, oh, next time you go to the seminar, bring Scotty. And Scotty's my brother. And I was thinking about it, and I'm like, I don't know if he's into that. You know, I don't think he would. I don't think, he is not into that. He's more into the nonfiction, biography, tough guy, war, military, kind of World War II, current day, just the heroics, you know, just that inspirational, like he did it kind of deal. And like overcoming odds, like Lone Survivor is his favorite book. And he's not really into, and it's nothing against him. It's just when someone says, oh, take someone, or what book should I read? And, you know, I've had a lot of people say that no one goes out and actually does it. So it takes a certain person. You know, what does it take? First of all, you have to be open. You have to be open to learning. There's a lot of times I'm not open to learning. When I'm talking to someone that I feel, and this is something I have to work on, if I feel that I am either smarter in that subject or more established in general, like in life, and that person's talking about something and I disagree, I have to get over the fact that I look at other viewpoints that I have to look at other viewpoints. And the reason I do that is because I'm reading the best books by people that are in their 50s, 60s, 70s. They went their entire lives just failing, succeeding, failing, succeeding, 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 failing in different subjects. And I'm literally reading the best. So in my mind, I'm like, I'm reading the best that I can in a certain subject, say social media, marketing, sales, life, finances, whatever the building a business, managing a business, public speaking, leading, whatever. They are the best. The people that I read are the best. And I'm talking to someone, and that's the biggest thing, is overcoming when someone says, I want to read. Okay, cool. You want to read? Listen, I had a book. I've been giving out books all the time. There's a book I give out, forgot the name of it, to the woman at the place I get coffee. I'm like, you got to read this book. It's unbelievable. Okay. She started reading it. I think she finished it. She really wanted to read. She really wanted to improve. So how do you start? How do you start in a subject that you want to learn? It doesn't even have to be any of the subjects that I just brought up or any of the topics that I brought up, but how do you get into reading? First is I could say read the best book, but I don't know if the best book may be too meaty. It might be just too much and you're like, whoa, this is overwhelming, and then you just put it down. So I think you should start at small books. Start at like 100 pages, 150 pages, and like easy reading, things that you enjoy. So you kind of like get into the influence of reading, and you get into the habit of reading. And then after that, I would start moving into things, because learning about a subject that you're not passionate about is impossible. Like, you don't want to read it, you don't want to finish it, you don't care. It's a lose-lose situation. So listen, we're at 12 minutes, 21 seconds. This has been actually a really interesting video. So the other conversation, so my mom said, what about your brother? He's not into it. He would not be into it. My mom, maybe. I was thinking about bringing her up to Toronto when I go up to see Brian Buffini talk. Les Brown is talking up there. I'm extremely excited to see him talk. Les Brown is an unbelievable influence. He's more of a motivational speaker, but he just has a voice and a passion and a story that you just resonate with. You're like, if he can do it, I can do it, kind of deal. And you really, Les Brown, Les Brown, great, unbelievable. Check out his videos. I haven't read any of his books, but I've probably seen 100, 200 videos, because I also don't have a TV. And by the way, I just bought a projector, and I hooked it up to my iPhone and my iPad. So whatever I project from my iPad and my iPhone, or whatever I have on my iPhone and iPad, it projects onto a wall. Unreal. Way better than a TV. Like, you're like at a cinema. Like, yeah, spend the extra dollars for a projector TV. I spent $350, which is less than a TV, and it's on a wall, so I don't have to have wires and cords and everything else, and I don't have to pay for cable. I haven't had cable in 4 years, probably 4 years now. It's over 4 years now, and I watch YouTube videos, I watch documentaries from Amazon, from Apple, or iTunes, I should say, and YouTube is unbelievable. There's so many resources on YouTube. You gotta go on YouTube. YouTube is such a vast. I have 100 videos that I want to watch, and I just keep on adding to it. It's in my watch later list. And every day, I just think of more things. I have 30 subscriptions, and any thing they come out with, any video they come out with, I watch. Anyway, there's just a way to go through life that it just, you feel like it's a way to success. That's essentially what I'm getting to, is you feel like there is a way to success. So the other conversation was, this is back in 2009, and one of my buddies were at my apartment, and this is when I first started. I think I just saw Tony Robbins, and I was like, wow. I was like, I can actually improve my life, or I can actually be a better person. That was foreign to me. I had no idea that I could. I thought that just whatever path was laid out by God or by, like, you had a predetermined path. That's like literally was my ignorant thinking. Was just you just do this, and then you do this, and then you die. And then I went to see Tony Robbins, and I'm like, whoa. I'm like, if I change my thoughts, then I change my actions, which then changes my results, which then make a better life. And I was like, it literally floored me. I remember leaving there, and I just was a changed person. So I started telling people about this. I'm like, dude, you're being so negative about this. I'm like, just think about the good things. And he goes, where'd you come up with that? And I started going into it. And then at this point, I started reading a lot more books. I started really just, my clients call me the guy that just keeps on walking around with a book. I always have a book in my hand. And I'll never forget this. He says, he goes, teach me something. Like, teach you something? He goes, yeah, just like tell me something. Like, how do I become a better person? Or like, what do I do? And like in my mind, it's like you don't just do that. You don't just be a better person. You don't just, like, you have to convince yourself that you want to be one. As corny as it sounds, and as cliche as if the student is ready, the teacher's there. 100%. I sucked at school. I was the crappiest student at school, college, everything. Took me 4.5 years to graduate. I had to take summer classes. I walked, but I couldn't even graduate until the fall. It was brutal. And I read a total of probably 8 books, and that's even pushing it, maybe 5 total, my whole life up until 22. And then I came out and I went to the seminar, Tony Robbins, and I was like, and I didn't even know who this guy was. Like, I remember he was on Shallow Hal. He was like in that scene with Kevin James. And I just remember thinking like, oh, wow. I'm like, okay, this guy is, I guess, a motivational speaker or something. But then when you actually see him, he's actually a smart guy. This is what I was thinking. I was like, he's actually a smart guy. And then he started doing a series of kind of like, think of your biggest insecurities. My biggest insecurities was confidence, was talking to people, that people want to hear what I have to say, to approaching girls, to going on dates, to having girlfriends, to making money, to public speak. Like, I had a huge amount of insecurities, and I still do today, but I now know why I have an insecurity. Back then I was like, I'm just afraid to do it. Now I'm like, I'm afraid to do it because I've never done it. Say skydiving, or it's not really an insecurity, it's more of a fear. Well, I guess it's really the same thing. And I went to see him, and you literally think to your mind, wow, the more, say, dating, the more I go on dates, the more comfortable I'll feel, the more confident I'll become. And what he said is that it translates into other parts of your life, namely business. I then started noticing at work, I wasn't happy. Like, I thought that's what it was, like, because I looked around and I was like, nobody's happy except that one of my buddies, Andreas. I'm like, never, like, him and I would just walk around and be like, why is no one, like, everyone's like angry and pissed off and whatever. So I then said, you start to realize things. That's the biggest revelation, is you start to realize things that you want to change, people you want to meet, people you want to become, who you want to be in the future. That's really the biggest thing, is people just want to make an impact, and that's all everyone's really struggling for, is to make an impact. So I would say, so when my friend asked this question, I literally said, dude, you're not ready. And then he started getting mad, and then we got into an argument. And listen, I was right though, because I was in his shoes. Like, I looked at people who were way smarter than me in college, way cooler, way more outgoing. Like, I was in a fraternity and I played rugby. I was with like elite social guys. And elite social guys in fraternity, and then you have these guys that are just, their mindset is like win, win, win. And I'm like, how do I get that mindset? And I remember asking them, they're like, I remember they're hesitant to ask because I wanted to win, but they really wanted to win. They were like a Kobe Bryant, like, I want to win. Michael Jordan kind of person, like, I want to win. And then the people that are the biggest winners are the people that want to win, which is cliche, like Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, who obviously I'm a Jets fan, but so you have to, convince yourself you want to do this. You can't just say, and if you're watching this, you probably have sort of convinced yourself. Everyone wants to be better. And to be honest, I think Tony Robbins said, progress equals happiness. And it's true. When you start progressing and you start seeing results, it's with anything, financing or finance or fitness or social or whatever. I remember when I started becoming, like, I used to try things out that were just brutal to become more social. Just rejection after rejection. People were like, dude, this guy's not cool. I tried too hard. And then I started getting social cues, and then I noticed how to be social, how to mold myself to the situation, because not everyone's the same. Like, yes, there's a point where you don't change, but you mold yourself to the situation. If everyone's, by situation, I mean like the environment you're in. You know, you don't want to be bombastic and everything else at like a quiet time and quiet at a fun time and everything else. I thought, like, I just have to be, you know, whatever. I don't want to get too far into it. Other videos, I'm at 21 minutes. Anyway, I've been talking for a while. So the person you have to first convince yourself, like, I actually want to become better. Like, you have to say that. I want to become better. There are people, one of my friends, he wants to date a higher quality woman. And higher quality women come with other securities you need. Security, where you live, what you do, who you are, your jokes, your personality, things like that. And we were discussing it on Saturday. We were coming back from a wedding, and I just remember, it was only a couple of days ago, but he was like, he was focusing on that. That was what his focus was. He's like, I want a better woman. Like, I want a woman that is fun and cool and outgoing and social. Yeah, and she takes care of herself, and he's that kind of guy. So he's like, that's what I want. So he's now focused on that. So you have to convince yourself. He's convinced himself. He then says, now he's actually going out and doing it. So for you, it could be reading. For him, it's action. He has to find out how to attract and different types of women that he wants. For you, it could be, okay, now go out and read about fitness, or go out and read about personal finance or marketing, or whatever topic you want to cover. And then the other is, so you learn about it. He was learning about it by, you know, just taking action, and then you take action, and then you contemplate afterwards. You review, okay, this worked, this didn't work. Because if you take action, but there's no like, this works, this doesn't work, I should try this. Like, when I was becoming more social, I was doing that. I was like, oh, that was actually, everyone laughed at that guy's joke, or that girl, it just seems like she's just self-amusing herself. And you think about it, you're like, wow, you're like, maybe that's the person I want to be. Like, that's exactly who I want to be. And then you start taking things away from that. So you have to review it, okay? That's the person that you if you want to make this, it's not one book, it's not 2 books, it's not a week, it's not a month, it's not a year, it's literally a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle of improvement in a certain area that you want to improve. One of them for me was social. Another was finances. Another was fitness. You know, so fitness, I have a good grasp at what foods to eat, how much I need to exercise. I have a good grasp. I've then moved on to other areas. And then I'll have to come back if I start failing in that. Like, I haven't exercised in 2 days, 3 days. And it's bothering me. Like, today I wanted to go out for a run, and it's bothering me that I didn't. And I was going to play hockey tonight, but it got canceled. So now I have to find another way, which is probably tomorrow morning. But then I say, okay, if I'm not going to exercise, I have to eat well. You know, you can't layer no exercise with eating like crap, you know. So convince yourself in a topic that you want to change. If it's finance, negotiating, your work, starting a business, there's so many books. There are so many YouTube videos. I know. I've seen by now 10,000 videos on YouTube. I haven't had a TV in 4 years. I know exactly the keywords to type in. I know the people, the best people in every area because I've done so much research. And it's over a period of time. You know, who I am now did not take a week, a month, a year. You know, I've started this since 2007, so it's now 7 years. 7 years, okay? And 7 years from now, I'm gonna double or triple or 10 times the amount. You know, there's a book over here, Grant Cardone, Sell or Be Sold. You got to do 10 times the work, 10 times the calls, 10 times the action. So listen, I'm on 25 minutes. I hope this was helpful because you could see how passionate I am about this topic. Like you have to improve yourself in an area that you want to improve, or you have to convince yourself you need improvement and then actually go and do it. So I would not force someone, like my mom said yesterday, what about your brother doing it? I'm like, he's not going to be interested in the things that I'm interested in because, you know, A, he is a different person, and person as in like just we're in the same family and we're close, but I mean, he's just even if he was my twin, we're going to like separate things. You know, that's what makes him individual and me individual. Like he knows a huge amount about finance companies because that's what he does. He knows a massive amount about sports, and because that's what he focuses on. Like I don't want to say a lot about sports. I know about sports. You know, I follow it, but there's levels. So I'm more into the business aspect of building a business. Is that going to appeal to him? No, probably not. Going to a seminar. So I would start in the books before you go to the seminars, because otherwise you're going to go in and be like, he's drinking the Kool-Aid. Anyway, follow me on Instagram. It's below in the. You know what I should do is write down books that I've read. You know, the top books that I've read, because I've already started to compile a library. And there's more coming in the mail now. It's unbelievable. I don't even have room for them. I should just sell them off or give them away. But anyway, let me know if you have any questions. Hope you subscribe to the videos. I know this was a long one. We're pushing 27 minutes, but it was a fun topic to discuss. So anyway, if you have any questions, let me know. Follow me on Instagram and subscribe to my videos. I come out with a new video every single weekday. So if you have any topics you want me to discuss, I'm the prototypical guy that will try anything. I'll fail at it, and then I'll tell you what to do, what not to do. All right? So I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Hope all is well.